Hello and welcome to a rather different episode of the Darkling podcast, Darker Days Radio's sister show for short, specific topics in the world of darkness and other games. I am, of course, Mike, and tonight we will reveal the truth of a World of Darkness secret, Grigory Rasputin's true origin. While Rasputin was a real historical figure of the late Russian court, much of the material presented here comes from White Wolf writer Daniel Greenberg. So, without further ado, let us begin with the author. Daniel Greenberg, of course, needs no introduction. He was an early White Wolf writer and brother to Vampire the Masquerade developer Andrew Greenberg. Daniel is credited with writing classics such as the first edition clan book Malkavian, Rage Across New York, The Digital Web, and even The Last Supper, which Adrian Stagg and I covered way back in Darker Days episode number 21. Cooler still, Daniel wrote the dialogue and some of the story for Vampire the Masquerade Redemption, the first World of Darkness video game. Daniel and his brother decided to introduce Rasputin in connection to the events detailed in Rage Across Russia, a chronicle sourcebook with immense crossover between vampire and werewolf. However, they didn't want to pin down exactly what he was and make the character an unquantifiable element. Thus, Rasputin was introduced as a Ventrue ally of unknown power and origin that escaped the bourgeois-influenced Bolshevik Revolution. Now, here's where things start to get strange. Many first edition clan books include some postulation of Rasputin, and many clans claim his membership. Stranger still, Rasputin appears to be a Shadow Lord guru and a Cult of Ecstasy mage according to their respective tribe book and tradition book. Rasputin is even said to be a wraith puppeteer, skin-riding mortals and kindred alike. For better or worse, Rasputin's contribution to the metaplot ended with these books, but that doesn't mean Rasputin's story has to end there in your World of Darkness. Daniel Greenberg had ideas for Rasputin that never made it to publication. He had ideas for the character's history and a multiple story chronicle called When Cain Wept, the first Gehenna cycle. That's right, the first of many Gehenna cycles. Ultimately, it seems that Rasputin's tale fell to the wayside by the time of revised edition, as White Wolf stayed away from historical figures and introduced a more unified World of Darkness. However, Daniel Greenberg revealed his ideas in a series of emails to a Malkavian fan site. In truth, Rasputin was an alchemist, a powerful one that made enemies throughout the demonic, incestuous hellhole that was pre-Revolution Russia. As he wormed his way into the Romanov court, Rasputin was ghouled by the Ventrue kindred that influenced it from the shadows. Thoroughly enthralled by his dominators, Rasputin influenced Tsar Nicholas through his hemophiliac son Alexei by day and studied the mystic properties of Cain's blood by night. Through his research, Rasputin cracked the code that defined the clans in vampiric blood, among other properties such as thickening blood, thinning it, and creating poisonous blood. With this knowledge, Rasputin was able to cure Alexei with kindred blood and become a trusted member of the Romanov court. Finally, Rasputin discovered how to break blood bonds. Free of Ventrue influence, the mad mystic synthesized the purest vampiric blood he could, what he called the blood of Cain, and consumed it. Rather than remaining a ghoul, Rasputin became a kindred unlike any other, showing skill in all known disciplines and immunities to supernatural powers. But as his power grew, Rasputin was tortured with visions of Gehenna. Having betrayed the Ventrue hegemony and his former sorceress allies, Rasputin faced a vast conspiracy against him. While the Tsarina tried to protect him, Rasputin was killed in the ensuing revolution. And he came back. Because, like Cain, he cannot truly die. The story of Rasputin was planned to continue in the modern Knights with a number of adventures. In the first, players would take the role of a caitiff coterie as Gehenna looms and are put on a path to kill Rasputin. While he would ideally be destroyed in the adventure, it would be hinted that he soon returns. The next story would have the players as part of the Sabbat, trying to prevent a Camarilla plot to destroy Rasputin. The next adventure has the players as a group of elder kindred. Similar to the Last Supper Chronicle book, each character would meet with Rasputin in a solo vignette, where the pseudo-Cainite claims and subsequently proves to be a member of their clan. The remainder of the story involves a mystery and intrigue as they eventually discover that Rasputin is Cain. The fourth and final story is referred to as Gehenna itself, and would include all of the characters used up until that point, with players choosing to play their favorite character from the past stories. Over the course of the Chronicle, each player had received a taste of Rasputin's blood, which, among other things, makes the character immune to the madman's power. As prophecies and events show Gehenna is nearly upon the world, all these characters must band together and face Rasputin. As the vampire is destroyed at the end of the Chronicle, the players discover that he is not Cain, although virtually identical by blood. By destroying him in Cain's place, the mad mystic's visions are silenced, and the singularity that is Gehenna is forestalled for a time.